When Amish twins are born and one has a disability, the community does not call social services. There is no government assistance, no insurance claim, no institutional placement. The family absorbs the child completely. Here's exactly what happens from the delivery room to adulthood. The birth of two Amish twins are often born at home with a midwife attending. When the midwife delivers the second twin and something is visibly different, the parents know immediately. A physical abnormality. A limpness the healthy twin does not have. A silence where there should be crying. If the situation is serious, the midwife arranges transport to the nearest hospital. The family pays cash. They have no insurance. The father contacts the church deacon within hours. Word spreads. By the following morning, two babies, one healthy, one not. The family's life has just divided into two parallel tracks that will require different things from everyone around them. Community reaction to the news. When the community learns that one twin has a disability, the response is immediate and practical. Women arrive with food. Men offer to cover the father's farm work. The church deacon visits to assess needs and organize support. The reaction is not one of pity or discomfort. Disability is not rare in Amish settlements. The genetic reality of generations of marriages within a small population means many families have a member with Down syndrome, a metabolic disorder, or intellectual disability. Neighbors do not treat the disabled twin as a tragedy. A child has arrived. The community will help raise that child. The disability changes the logistics. It does not change the fundamental response. How Amish view disability. The Amish theological framework for disability is straightforward. Every child is a gift from God. A disabled child is not a punishment or a sign of the parent's sin. It is God's will expressed in a form the family may not fully understand, but must fully accept. There is no consideration of institutional placement. The child belongs at home because God sent the child to this family. Amish adults who have grown up alongside disabled community members reinforce this view through their own behavior. They include disabled members in daily life without awkwardness. The disabled child grows up understanding that their place in the community is as secure as anyone else's. The genetic reality. The Amish population descends from a small group of founders who emigrated from Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries. Estimates suggest the entire current Amish population of approximately 380,000 people descends from roughly 200 founding couples. This founder effect, combined with generations of marriage within the community, has concentrated certain recessive genetic mutations at rates far higher than in the general population. Conditions like maple syrup, urine disease, glutaric acidemia type 1, Ellis-Van Creveld syndrome, and certain forms of dwarfism occur in Amish communities at rates that are extraordinary by outside standards. When twins are born and one has a genetic disability, the parents may not understand the genetics behind the condition, but the Clinic for Special Children does. Established in Strasburg, Pennsylvania in 1989 by Dr. D. Holmes Morton, the clinic was created specifically to serve uninsured Amish and Mennonite children with genetic disorders. The genetic reality of Amish disability is not a secret or a shame. It is a documented medical phenomenon that researchers have studied extensively and that the Amish community has responded to practically. The Clinic for Special Children. The Clinic for Special Children in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, is one of the most important medical institutions serving the Amish community. It was founded in 1989 by Dr. D. Holmes Morton after he recognized that Amish children with rare genetic disorders were receiving fragmented and unaffordable care at regional hospitals that charged 3 to 4 times the standard Medicaid rate for uninsured patients. The clinic operates on a sliding scale fee basis that makes care accessible to families paying entirely in cash. By 2024, the clinic had approximately 1,700 active patients with more than 480 unique genetic mutations being monitored and treated. The clinic's impact is documented and remarkable. Before its founding, childhood mortality from maple syrup urine disease in the Amish community was 39%. The clinic reduced that rate dramatically through early diagnosis and home management protocols that parents could follow without hospitalization. When the parents of a disabled twin bring their child to the clinic for special children, they receive a level of specialized genetic expertise that most major hospitals cannot match for these specific conditions. The clinic understands the genetic landscape of the Amish population in ways that general practice medicine does not. The family pays what they can. The clinic treats the child, no insurance required. Daily life with a disabled child. Caring for a disabled child in an Amish household is absorbed into the household's existing structure without dramatic reorganization. The mother is already the primary caregiver for 8 to 12 children. Adding the intensive care requirements of a disabled child to that workload is exhausting but not structurally foreign. She adapts. The daily routine bends around the disabled twin's needs. Medical equipment that must be operated without electricity presents challenges, but the Amish have experience finding non-electric solutions for medical necessities. Diesel-powered generators are permitted for medical equipment in most communities. The disabled twins' feeding, therapy, and daily care become part of the household rhythm alongside milking, baking, and schooling. Older daughters take on significant caregiving responsibilities under the mother's supervision. Brothers help with physical tasks when the disabled twin requires lifting or mobility assistance. The household does not treat the disabled twin's care as a burden that falls on one person. It distributes the responsibility across the family the way it distributes every other household responsibility. This is not always easy. Some disabilities require around-the-clock attention. Some medical needs are complex and frightening. But the Amish household's existing structure of shared labor and community support makes the adaptation more manageable than it would be in an isolated English household. The healthy twin's role. The healthy twin occupies a unique position in the family from birth. They entered the world alongside a sibling who immediately required more attention, more resources, and more concern. This reality shapes the healthy twin's development in ways that are both difficult and profound. From a very young age, the healthy twin understands that their sibling needs things they do not need. They observe their parents' extra attention to the disabled twin without resentment in most cases, because the Amish family structure does not cultivate entitlement in any child. Every child in an Amish household is expected to contribute to the family's welfare from a young age. The healthy twin contributes by being capable, by requiring less, and by helping with their siblings' care as they grow old enough to do so. The bond between twins in Amish culture is considered significant. The healthy twin is often the disabled twin's most consistent companion and advocate within the family. They translate their siblings' needs to parents when communication is difficult. They include their sibling in play and work activities at whatever level the disability allows. They grow up with a depth of compassion and patience that peers raised without disabled siblings rarely develop at the same age. School and learning. Amish children attend one-room schoolhouses that serve the entire community's school-age children together. When a disabled child reaches school age, the community must decide how to accommodate their needs within this structure. In larger Amish settlements like Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, specialized schools for children with special needs have been established within the community. These schools are staffed by Amish teachers trained to work with children who have intellectual disabilities, developmental delays, or communication challenges. In smaller communities, the disabled child attends the regular one-room schoolhouse alongside their healthy twin and other community children. The teacher, typically a young Amish woman with an 8th grade education herself, does the best she can to include the disabled child in appropriate activities. Other children in the school have grown up in a community where disability is not hidden or institutionalized. They treat their disabled classmate with the same matter-of-fact inclusion they observe in their parents and community members. The disabled twin sits in the same classroom as their healthy twin. They participate in what they can participate in. The community's expectation is not that every child achieve the same academic outcomes, but that every child be present, included, and valued within the community's shared life. Community inclusion. The disabled twin is included in community life from birth with the same completeness as any other community member. They attend church services every other Sunday, sitting with the family. They appear at community gatherings, barn raisings, quilting bees, and harvest events. They are introduced to visitors without apology or special explanation. The Amish practice of introducing community members often includes noting their circumstances naturally. You have not met the Miller twins. One of them has Down syndrome. The introduction is matter of fact. The disability is acknowledged without being emphasized. The community member with the disability is then engaged directly and treated as a participant in the conversation and the gathering. Adults with intellectual disabilities in Amish communities typically contribute to community work at whatever level their ability allows. A man with Down syndrome in his 20s may do specific farm tasks he has learned through repetition. A woman with a developmental delay may contribute to food preparation in ways that are within her capability. The community finds meaningful roles for its disabled members rather than placing them outside the community's productive life. This inclusion is not a program or a policy. It is simply how the Amish have always treated the members God sent them. What the future holds. As the disabled twin grows, the family faces questions that have no simple answers. Will the disabled twin ever live independently? Will they marry? What happens to them when the parents are no longer able to provide care? The Amish answer to all of these questions follows the same pattern as their answer to every other difficult question about family and community welfare. The family handles it, the community supports the family. No one falls through the cracks. An adult with a serious intellectual disability in an Amish community typically remains in the family household for life. When the parents age and can no longer provide primary care, a sibling takes over. Often, it is the healthy twin who assumes responsibility for their disabled sibling in adulthood. This is not experienced as a burden imposed from outside. It is understood from childhood as the natural extension of a relationship that began in the womb. Some disabled Amish adults do marry if their disability is mild enough to permit independent household management. The community supports these marriages with the same mutual aid it extends to every young couple establishing a household. Others remain in family households their entire lives, surrounded by nieces and nephews who grow up treating their disabled relative as a normal part of family life. The cycle continues. The community absorbs what God sends. And the disabled twin who arrived alongside their healthy sibling lives a life that is smaller in some ways than it might have been, but surrounded by people who never once questioned whether they belonged. What the outside world finds difficult to understand is that the Amish do not experience this arrangement as sacrifice. The healthy twin who cares for their disabled sibling in adulthood is not giving up their life. They are living the values instilled in them since childhood. The community member who helps fund the disabled adult's medical care through mutual aid is not performing charity. They are fulfilling an obligation they accepted when they chose baptism and community membership. The disabled twin is not a burden the community tolerates. They are a member the community claimed from the moment of birth. And that claiming does not expire when the parents grow old or when the care becomes difficult. It simply passes to the next set of hands willing to carry it forward. What happens when Amish twins are born and one has a disability is a story about community absorbing what it is given without complaint and without question. The birth is received as God's will. The community responds immediately with food, labor, and practical support. The parents pay cash for medical care at the clinic for special children, where genetic expertise specific to Amish conditions is available at sliding scale fees. The disabled twin is raised at home within the existing household structure, with caregiving distributed across the family. The healthy twin grows up as their sibling's closest companion and eventual advocate. The disabled child attends school in the community's one-room schoolhouse or a specialized school within the settlement. They attend church. They appear at community gatherings. They are introduced without apology and included without reservation. As adults, they live within family households supported by siblings and the extended community network that has surrounded them since birth. The genetic reality of the Amish population means that disability appears at higher rates than in the general population. The community has adapted to this reality not through institutional systems or government programs, but through the same mechanism it uses to handle every difficult circumstance: shared responsibility, unconditional inclusion, faith that every person God sends has a place in the community He sent them to. The disabled twin did not choose their circumstances, neither did their healthy twin, neither did their parents. But the community that received them chose how to respond. And the choice the Amish community makes every time is the same: welcome the child, support the family. Include both twins completely, and trust that the community is stronger for having absorbed what it was given rather than turning away from it.